Well, France 24's Dave Keating joins me now from Brussels to talk a bit more about Stoltenberg, who met with the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson today. Dave, first of all, what did Boris Johnson have to say about Ukraine?
Well, we didn't get a huge amount of new information here or new ideas from this press conference following the meeting, but it was interesting the themes that they wanted to highlight. You heard in that soundbite there, Stoltenberg saying that NATO is not a threat to Russia. This was a theme that both men stressed over and over during this press conference. I think I counted about 6 mentions of the fact that NATO is a defensive alliance and does not pose a threat to Russia. But this was one of many meetings that are taking place right now, and we're not getting a huge amount of new information from most of them. But what was significant is that Johnson was really, really keen to stress that the UK is watching and that the UK is actively involved. Now, he did kind of echo French President Emmanuel Macron's statements on this when he said that the West has to offer Russia some kind of security guarantees, but that can't mean a concession on the issue of NATO's open door membership, and that also Russia, any kind of concession from the West would have to be accompanied by a de-escalation from Russia. That is essentially exactly what Emmanuel Macron has been saying for the past week. So the distance between them may be being exaggerated as people cover this. Possibly the more interesting meeting to watch will be UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss in Moscow, where she's meeting with her Russian counterpart today. We'll see if that results in any kind of movement or any kind of new ideas, but so far we're not seeing a whole lot of movement on resolving this issue.
Now, Dave, of course, all of this comes as Boris Johnson has been having a lot of his own troubles at home with the Partygate scandal. Are those troubles distracting what he's trying to do in Brussels?
They for sure are, and that was in evidence by the fact that he was asked about the Partygate scandal, in which he's accused of partying through the lockdown many times in his own home during the pandemic. He was asked about it by the BBC. He, of course, didn't comment. But really, the UK is not in a good position here. They've been accused of kind of standing on the sidelines during this conflict and not really taking an active role. Now, Boris Johnson was really keen to counter that narrative during this press conference. He said, quote, "The UK's commitment to European security is unconditional and immovable. We have the biggest defense budget in Europe and the second largest in NATO." And you could argue that is true, but if you have to say it, you probably have a problem. Johnson is in an unenviable position here. He is undoubtedly distracted by this scandal, which could see him lose his job at any moment. But at the same time, if he tries to take an active role in Ukraine, as we saw last week when he went to Ukraine, he is accused of trying to distract from his domestic scandal. We have seen that not just from domestic media, but also international media like CNN. It is an unenviable position for him to be in.
Thanks so much for that, Dave. Dave Keating there reporting from Brussels.